Good evening, welcome to another live feed. We'll conclude with this live stream. Got one more to go to conclude this book that I've been reading for a while. The top 50, the true 50 Greatest MCs book. We read for a while. Now we're down to number two, man. Rakim, Master Brahman. Kool put Rakim as the number two greatest MC in his book. Let's just see why. But first, we gotta start with one of his best verses in his career of Rakim. I learned to relax in my room and escape from New York, returning through the womb of the world as a thought, thinking how hard it was to be born. Me being cream with no physical form, millions of cells with one destination to reach the best part, like that's life's creation. 9 months later, a job well done. Make way, cause here I come. Since I made hits for far, I can't stop now. There's a will and a way, and I got to know how to be all I can be and more, to see all there is to see before. I'm called to go back to the essence. It's a lot to learn, so I studied my lessons. I thought the ghetto was the worst thing that could happen to me. I'm glad I listened when my father was rapping to me, because back in the days, they lived in caves, exiled from the original man, astray away. Now that's why I call hard times, where I'd be here to exercise the mind. Now take a thought around the world twice, from knowledge to born, back to knowledge precise, across the desert that's hot as they erased me in, because they couldn't cave me in, because I'm the Asian, reaching for the city of Mecca, visit Medina. Visions of Nefertiti, then I see her. Minds keeps traveling. I'll be back after I stop and think about the brothers and sisters in Africa. Return them thought through the eye of a needle. For miles I fought, and I just brought the people under the dark skies on the dark side. Not only there, but right here's on in apartheid. So now it's the time for us to react. Take a trip through the mind, and when you get back, understand your third eye, seeing all of that. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see a pastime hobby about to be taken to the maximum. All right, that's it. Classic Rakim stuff, man. Classic Rakim stuff. Here we go. According to Kool, this is what he said. Rakim is the greatest rapper of all time. He said it in his book. No, it was over 20 years ago. He said Rakim is the greatest rapper of all time. There are other MCs that have certain elements that Rakim doesn't. Biggie's explosive delivery, KRS One's live performance, Kane's condescension, Kool D's craftsmanship, Melly Mel's bombast, all Slick Rick's storytelling acumen. However, no other rapper, MC, or hip hop artist has ever been so potent lyrically that fans will buy and listen to his records solely for the purpose of hearing the rhymes. In urban America, music is one of the most important cultural influences on our lives. If we don't like the music, we don't listen to the song. Rakim had many records that people didn't like musically, but because he was rhyming on them, we will listen to them again and again. I would venture to say, according to Kool, that Rakim is the most studied MC ever. Any MC that came after 1986 had to study Rakim just to know what to be able to do. Rakim is the author of flow. Before him, there was no such thing as flow. While he didn't invent the word, the importance of how you said your rhyme and it being defined as flow started with Rakim. In 1986, Rakim was the second 8-year hip-hop paradigm shift. Remember, music works on the number 8. 8 notes, 8 bars, 8-part harmony, etc. This is also true if you get into the mathematical science lately. Hip-hop has 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, 7, 8, 9-year cycles. The 8-year cycle is the paradigm shift. That's when some MC comes or creates something that changed the way we interpret a great MC. In other words, from 1970 to 1978, we rhymed one way. Melly Mel in 1978 gave us the new cadence we would use from 1978 to 1986. Then Rakim in 1986 gave us flow, and that was the rhyme style from 1986 to 1994. Then Biggie came with the newer flow, which dominated from 1994 to 2002. 2002, Eminem created the song that got the first Oscar in hip hop history, and I would have to say that his flow is the most dominant right now. Rakim is the one of the only MCs that is openly revered by other MCs to a level of conceding his superiority. As Michael Jordan is the basketball player, Rakim is the MC's MC. He's referenced as the standard of lyrical greatness. Rakim was able to get props from other MCs at a time when it wasn't commonplace. His skill level was so evident, no one ever even questioned whether or not he needed hot music to help him or carry him. When I first heard him, I was in my car listening to the A side of cassette single on the song Eric B for President. I could tell something was special about him. His rhyme style was the opposite of the yelling, energetic cadences around in LL. Little did I know at the time that the sonic cadences that Run and LL used, which were the heightened volume versions of Melly Mel's cadence, was on his deathbed. Rakim's laid-back flow was a definitely yelling style. However, the song Eric B was a party jam and Rakim was a complimentary element to the record. I had no idea what I was in for when I turned the tape over. The song, my melody, was the official coronation of the paradigm shift and the changing of the guard. I literally had to pull over and stop driving to fully take in what was happening. You have to remember, I was one of the first generation 3 lyrical God kings at this time. And everything in me is saying that there's a new king here. I listened to this record 10 times in a row, looking for flaws, but I had to be honest with myself. This is one of the best MCs I ever heard. I settled myself with the thought that this might be just be a one-time thing. In addition to that, I would have to see him perform before I could really give him props. He had a couple of shows at the rooftop in the late night quarters. The crowd didn't respond well, and at the rooftop, he actually got booed. I remember having mixed emotions. On the one hand, my fears of losing my spot as a top dog lyrical MC was well. On the other hand, he was still the best new MC I've heard. I wasn't comfortable with people not responding to him. Finally, in December 1986, Rakim released what I think is the perfect hip hop record, I Know You Got Soul. The record was the perfect balance of lyrics, hook, and hardcore dance beat. And the first verse has one of the best rhyme dismounts ever. It's been a long time. I should have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weak shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. Keep repeating your miss. The rhymes of the microphone solo with. So you sit by the radio hand on the dial soon as you hear it. Pump up the volume, dance with your speaker till you hear it blow. Then plug in a headphone because here it go. It's a 4-letter word. When it's heard, it'll control your body to dance. You got it. Soul. It's extra tempo like a red alert. Reach the reflex and let it work. When this is playing, you can't get stuck with a step. So get set. And I'm still come up with a gift of sweet swift. Follow the leader, the rhyme will go. That's what the record that was mixed a long time ago. It could be done, but only I can do it. For those that can dance and clap your hands to it. I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like it was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the lines. I escape when I finish the rhyme. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the lines. I escape when I finish the rhyme. I got soul. When this record hit the streets, going to Kool, it was confirmed I was no longer king. I was now a legend. From that point on, anybody I've seen was forced to focus on that flow. It wasn't to the extent of being more important than your rhyme like the Biggie era of 1994, but it was the beginning of the end for lyrical masters without flavorful flows. Rakim set the tone for about a year before people realized that Kane and KRS-One were in the same league. However, from 1986 through most of 1987, Rakim was the man. When his album Paid in Full came in June 1987, the anticipation was like waiting for a Prince album. That same month, LL was about to drop Bad. It's his second album. Believe me, there was nothing hotter than the two of them in terms of hip hop's anticipation. It was like Michael Jackson and Prince coming out at the same time. The difference was Rakim was the new kid on the block, the new flow. Ultimately, LL's double album, platinum album, LP outsold Rakim's 4-1. But Rakim's album goes down in history as the classic. In my book, it's the third best hip hop album ever. That album alone reshaped hip hop on so many levels. Firstly, it put Rakim at rhyme god status. Secondly, it elevated Marley Marl status as a hip hop producer to one of the best ever. Thirdly, it put lyricists back on the map. Fans were now listening for rhymes again. And finally, it killed the Run DMC era and redefined what would be perceived as hardcore. Snoop may be the smoothest rapper ever, but Rakim's the smoothest lyricist ever. His flow is godly. Other than Method Man, there hasn't been anyone in hip hop story history that syncs with or sinks into a track like Rakim. He's never offbeat. Thematically, he's about as precise as you can get. For a laid back voice, he has the most vocal presence ever. He comes at the game poetically and lyrically. In 1988, he solidified his rhyme god status with the release of Flower the Leader. That's something DJ Jackson Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Public Enemy, JJ Fad, and I were on a tour opening for Run DMC. We were all standing around Will's tour bus waiting for Russell Simmons. The word was Russell had just signed Irving and Rakim. He had the advance copy of the album. I'm telling you, we were waiting for Russell like he was bringing us checks. That was the power of Rakim. Nobody moved for a half of an hour because we couldn't wait to hear what Rakim had to say. As we heard the single, Follow the Leader, it was an orgasmic silence. Russell took the tape and let strong like a proud father. He knew he had gold. Rakim's body of work more than any MC has been about his rhyme ability. His music and his messages were secondary. It was like went to a dunk contest. You don't want to see anything but dunks. Rakim's rhyme was always like a dunk. We were in awe of how he puts his words together. This is what sets up the unfair backlash he gets for his live performance. So when Rakim rhymes, people listen, they don't dance. However, he does have two killer all-time hip-hop dance tracks, President and Soul. This convolutes the matter when he's in concert. Rakim is more like a rhyming, spoken word artist with a musical backdrop. His music is not reflective of a party, it's reflective of a rhymer. There's no other MC that has that level of rhyming acting like, say, Razzcast, Pharrell Montreux, or Close. But in the follow tally, Rakim is by far one of the greatest rhyme gods ever. He's impacted the game on a level that few MCs can claim. Responsible for major transitions in the art scene. His record Lyrics of Fury is one of the last examples of the high-level old-school freestyle. His song No Omega is an 88-bar, one-verse masterpiece. Only Kool raps, Men at Work, is longer in total rhyme time. Nonetheless, Rakim is synonymous with lyrical excellence. He's the one MC that other MCs revel in being compared to. When you're being compared to Rakim, you're being considered in a realm of mastery. Without question, Rakim is so masterful, lyrically the music seems to be in the way. Like I said before, any list that has Rakim less than top 5 is actually bogus. Rakim is the greatest rapper and one of the true greatest MCs of all time. Let's look at the strength of Rakim, going to Kool. His rhymes, the greatest rapper ever. Weakness that lexicons are for him to translate line because the rhymes are not designed for you to sing alone. They're designed to blow your mind. I know you got Soul, Follow the Leader, favorite records, Paid in Full, favorite album, LP, Originality, number 95 for Rakim. The final chapter to the second wave of the lyrical trinity. Rakim is absolutely in the lyrical bloodline. Kool to Rakim to Nas. Evil, lyrical, intricate MC. 90, once you start to teach children No Omega, casualties of war, forget it. Rakim is actually one of the most successful MCs, period. 90, versatility. Rakim will shift gears to subject matter. He can give you party side, but still be lyrical. He can give you the social commentary, but he's still lyrical. He gives you relevance. He can go metaphysical on you, still give you lyrical. He can go spiritual, give you 5% entrant, still be lyrical. With lyrical within it. 90 vocabulary, 95 substance, 100 flow, 90 flavor, laid back energy with flavor, 90 purified freestyle, 100 vocal presence, 85 live performance. It's overblown and underrated scenario and equation about Rakim. 100 poetic value, 100 body of work, 90 industry impact. He, like Kane, basically took the industry by storm, even though he didn't have the same amount of imitators like Kane, but that was because his style basically couldn't be imitated. It was too unique. He definitely impacted the industry in terms of changing how people flowed, how people thought about rhymes, and what flow actually became. He's the inventor of that. 90, social impact. He was the first MC to really bring across the 5% doctrine, and the 5% doctrine, whether you agree with it or not, it got people thinking about putting spirituality in hip hop. 100, for longevity, lyrics 100. He's probably the most well known lyricist for his lyrics alone than anybody in the history of the game. When you hear a lyricist 9 times out of 10, you're being compared to Rakim. He became the trademark, the benchmark. 95, battle skills. 1600 total score. 94.1 average. All right, so that's it, man. For the number two, greatest MC, according to Kool D, it was Rakim. So we got the number one. We down to number one. Who's the number one greatest MC? We're gonna find out at the bottom of the hour. Till then, talk to you soon.